Okay, welcome back to the Legendary Podcast. This is episode 15. I'm here with Rohan, or no, it's not 15, it's 16. Episode 16, I'm here with Rohan and Jack. How are you guys
Hello.
doing?
Hey,
Doing great.
doing pretty
Yeah.
good.
How's your day going?
It's actually been going pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
Mm.
I woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Damn.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Has your sleep schedule been messed up a lot?
Yeah,
Since
I've
the-
been staying up, playing Warzone every night.
Warzone? Okay.
Mhm.
Rohan, how about you? Have you been sleeping well?
Yeah, so it was kind of fucked up until 3 weeks ago because I had to start my internship. I had to get up early. So
Oh, you have an internship. How's that going?
it's going pretty good. I'm making minimum wage, but aside from that, it's going pretty good.
What are some of the things that you're doing?
I
for the
can't really
internship?
I can't really discuss in depth, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm working in a team of some other professional software developers, and we're working on building this app that we think could really hit the market.
Is that the same internship that you were kind of working on in the past?
Yeah. So actually, it's kind of different now. They hooked me up with this other company, but even though I'm working with this other entity that's separate from the company I was working with before, the company that I was working with before is paying me. It's kind of weird.
Nice, bro.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Jack, what about you? What have you been kind of getting into?
I've been running a Minecraft server.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Superb craft.
yeah, I've been working on stuff with that. Made a website for it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been
What
working.
are some of the things that?
What's up?
Nice. What are some of the things that you have in the server? If people
So
wanna check it out.
we got chess, a chess plugin, so you can play chess games. That's pretty cool.
I like that.
That sounds pretty fun.
much just a survival server with an economy, so you can come and chill.
What kind of got
Yeah.
you into wanting to make a Minecraft server?
So way back in 5th grade, me and my friend Scott Anderson, you probably know him, we used to play Minecraft a lot, and there's this one server we really liked called Wintercraft. And then so fast forward to March this year, Scott was playing Minecraft a lot, and I wanted to play with him. So I looked into making a server, and it just grew into this.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so I actually copied the spawn in Wintercraft, block for block, into this server.
Oh, nice.
Ron, have you been visiting Jack's server at all?
I tried, but for some reason, I just couldn't. I don't know. I think it's because I was on the Linux edition. So
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. But
Okay. And then Jack, you said you were working on some other projects. What does that entail?
Yeah, so I've got just a bunch of programming projects I'm doing for fun. I put them into a website. It's just like math concepts that I put into code.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain. I could show you.
Do you use some of the math concepts that we learned in school?
Yeah, I did a linear algebra program, which uses linear algebra, and it displays a cube and it rotates it and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Algebra, yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys are pretty big on the computer science stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of just going back into high school of what you guys can remember taking comp sci. What are some of the better memories or programs that you guys worked on?
A lot of good memories. My favorite would have to be the maze program in Mr. Lau's class.
Oh man, yeah, yours was pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, because I made a GUI for it, so it was you could interact with it.
For the people that don't know, can you explain what a GUI is?
So GUI is it's pretty much it stands for graphical user interface. So it's something that you can see as a user, and it's stuff that you can interact with, visual stuff. And so my program was like a maze that you can see and you can click on and stuff. And
wow.
this is like the first program that I really dove deep into, and it gave me more of an appreciation for like how fun comp sci can be.
Hmm. Rohan, what was one of your favorite projects that you got the chance to make?
Well, oh yeah. So at the end of the year of Advanced Comp Sci, I worked with Sid Tickle, and we essentially like worked on this project that we thought was going to be pretty impossible to do, but gave it a try. We essentially made like this Rubik's Cube emulation using like 3D modeling using the processing API for Java. And it was basically like a different language from Java because of like the many libraries and methods that it had, but it was based on Java, so we were legally allowed to do it. And we basically worked like hours upon hours on it for like days straight, but we ended up finishing it, and it ended up, turning out to be a successful product. There's a few bugs, but luckily we were able to run it successfully in front of Mr. Lau, so he gave us like 100 on it. So it's pretty cool.
What programming languages are you guys most comfortable with when you're coding?
Java, pretty much for me.
Java. What about you, Jack?
Java, and then I know like some HTML and some web stuff, but mainly Java.
What's kind of like the purpose of having so many different, like computer science languages? Because
I think Rohan can answer that better.
It's basically like, I don't know, it's used to solve different problems because there's different kinds of, I guess, like solutions and abstractions that are just better translated into different languages, I guess.
A lot of it comes down to like what platform you're trying to do it on, because like computer organization is a big part of programming, and different languages are better for different platforms, like on the web or just an application and stuff like that.
Right.
So like, so I know Java is the one that we kind of learned in school. Have you guys tried to like expand your like computer science knowledge with like Python, C++, and how's that experience been for you guys?
Yeah, so I'd say it's been like relatively easy because I feel like Java is one of the harder languages to learn. And it was definitely a huge learning curve when I was first learning it. I definitely did not do well in APCSA in my first quarter. And Mr. Lau like actually encouraged me to like leave the class if I like to save my GPA.
He made the biggest comeback in history.
Oh yeah. And then I just started grinding really hard to understand the concepts and why things work. And gradually things started to make more sense. And I actually managed to get like a 5 on the exam that year. So that really boosted my confidence and set me on my path. And then like that momentum kind of just keeps going. And you start to understand things like a lot faster in Java. And
once you understand like object-oriented programming, which is what Java is, it's like you have the basic idea of coding down.
Right. And it easily translates into like different languages. Python is, I think, like 100 times easier than Java because it's a higher level programming language, meaning that's like more easily translatable from machine code. And it's basically just words, and it's very easy. Like the abstractions are easy to learn, and it's very easy to translate the concepts from Java to Python. And I guess you could say the same for C# and C++. I think it would be harder because it's a lower level programming language, but because like right now I'm trying to learn C# for my job, and I can tell you that's like not like the easiest thing in the world, but it's like it's not too different from Java. So it's not like too big of a learning curve now because I have that momentum and knowledge from a previous language. However, there are some languages that are just completely different, and you just need to like, I guess, like get over that learning curve. Not as bad as like the first languages you learn because you kind of understand like the key fundamentals, but
Yeah.
There are just some languages that are just completely different. Like HTML. HTML isn't really like a programming language as much as it's just like a markup language.
Mhm.
like,
That's one
define-
that you use in like websites, right?
Right. Yeah, you use
Okay.
that to construct websites as well as CSS.
Yeah.
And like I guess that's a bit harder to do because there's like it's not really logic oriented. Like you have to like memorize stuff,
Yeah,
like
it's more
different
just, like,
tags.
structure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But just,
So,
to,
Jack-
just to clarify,
yeah.
like lower level language means like it's more complex,
Right.
and you're being more explicit, like giving the computer direct instructions. Whereas higher level, it's like you're just using like language to code.
And I guess it's like easier to understand with the human eye.
Yeah.
Like
So what do
Python's
you
pretty
guys-
easy to interpret.
Would you guys say that Java is one of the easier languages to learn if you're kind of like beginning?
I think it's one of the harder ones actually.
Yeah.
It's more
However,
low
I think
level
it's
than
like-
Python.
Yeah. However, I think it's like a perfect starting point.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
Yeah. Like it's not impossible, but you have to commit to it for like I guess the first couple months to kind of build that momentum.
Mhm.
And have either one of you guys taken the kind of like programming class at Oakton?
All right. Well,
No.
so for like the first couple of weeks, I was I was stuck in programming for sophomore year because I thought like I some of my friends told me like start with that, and I was like okay, whatever. But then like some of my like hardcore Asian friends were like, yo, you should do APCSA. Like it's much better, more efficient programming. Mr. Lau is way better than Mr. Larson, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much same
So-
with me. My brother just told me, just stay away from programming, do CSA.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the problems that kind of made programming less approachable? Is it just they like make it like less practical computer science?
I mean, I've
Do you
never
guys know that-
taken it, but I know that they approach it with
Yes.
like they don't focus on practical concepts. Like,
Also, it's I think it's mainly Mr. Larson's fault, but because Mr. Larson doesn't know how to teach for shit. I'm sorry, but
That's okay. All right, cool. Rohan, I know you touched a little bit on Linux, and then that's something that we kind of used for the Cyber Patriot competitions in the past. Can you explain a little bit of what the purpose of Linux is, and how you use it and that kind of thing?
Linux is all right, so nowadays we have operating systems that are there's a little bit of like interference there. Your mic. All right. So we have right. So commonly used operating systems nowadays is like Mac OS or Windows. People typically use those, and the cons of those are that like the users like don't have complete control over their system. There's a lot of things that are hidden, and therefore like it doesn't make your system like completely configurable. And that's kind of where Linux comes in. So Linux was like developed in some dude's garage, and it was basically like the goal of Linux was to be completely transparent with its users. Like they can completely like modify anything they wanted to if they knew what they were doing. And they could even like modify it to the point where it's like a completely different operating system. And that's kind of where like Linux distributions come in. Like that's why there's so many different distributions of Linux, because from like the base model, like so many different developers kind of modified it to a point where it's like different. And there's like different package managers, different installation processes, different everything basically.
it's a lot of stuff.
And yeah, and people basically use Linux for its open source configuration, for its modability, I guess you'd say, and people are just more comfortable using it. And also, like, there's really efficient package managing or program management with Linux, and you can control like very easily where everything goes. And yeah, that's basically why you'd use Linux for anything.
Gotcha. So, computer science is a really growing field these days. What do you guys say are some of the common job applications that you guys can look into? Stuff like IT, working for like app development, a little bit like Rohan's doing, big companies. And then what are your guys' kind of aspirations for the field?
So my aspiration is to become a software engineer. So like back-end development, which means like the stuff that goes behind a website or behind a product. And when I say behind, it's like stuff that is behind the interface with the user. So like interacting with the database, handling data, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Mainly like back end logic and calculations that you would need. And I'm basically the same way. I want to, like, once I graduate from college, I want to become a software engineer for, a pretty popular company, or like something like Amazon, Google, Twitter.
Yeah, the dream for me would be Apple.
Oh yeah, because like their work environments are really nice. You're going to be in a team with people who are pretty structured, know what they're doing, and also the pay is definitely not a push factor. So
yeah, and a lot of jobs for software engineers you can work remote. So location really isn't an issue for anything of that.
Yeah,
I know a lot because my brother is a software engineer. He lives in Boston right now. He graduated tech like 3 years ago, and then he started working remote like right away, and he loves it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm able to maintain my internship, because everything's very easy to do remotely.
What do you say that kind of like the younger guys are the ones who are more valuable in the computer science field because it's constantly changing and they're most up to date? Or would you say like kind of older people still have a lot of value in computer science?
That's kind of a ambiguous question. Like, I think older people still do have value because they carry a lot of knowledge from the past. However, at the same time, past knowledge is past knowledge, and a lot of things have changed, and it could be hard to like adapt to that new change. But
you guys are always coming in with new ideas, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like their minds are fresh and they're up to date with like the newer APIs and stuff. So,
So what are some of the skills that you guys kind of need to stay kind of like up to date computer science folks? There's definitely like a lot of patience you need with debugging, adaptability, like you guys said. What are some of the skills that you guys think you picked up from the field?
Definitely organization.
Yeah,
because it's just so centered around being organized and having like folders and stuff like that you really have to get used to like keeping track of everything and having like a structure to your programs.
Yeah. And I think I've become like a better teacher when it comes to programming, because a lot of like newer people I know who are getting into the field ask me a lot of questions, and a lot of the people that I collaborate with now ask a lot of questions about how to do this and that. And
you were teaching me at the hackathon.
Oh yeah, it was still pretty hard though, because that was kind of hard to explain. But
At like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh man, yeah, I could not focus.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the hackathon and kind of the experience that you guys had?
Yeah, so pretty much there wasn't a lot of hacking.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we show up at Virginia Tech. I was just really looking forward to the Smash tournament.
Yeah,
we show up with the plan of we're just gonna have fun and try to learn stuff along the way. We didn't really have a project we were working on, but I mean, Rohan had his Project Scholar. If you want to talk about that, Rohan.
Oh yeah, so basically in CSCS Club, I was a project leader, and I started up this project called Project Scholar, which is basically a web application that kind of works like Naviance in the sense that it searches for colleges. However, it searches for colleges based on a user's like not only like their GPA or their academic record, but also like the extracurriculars that they're into, their job market, what major they want, their location preference, budget. all that kind of stuff.
So how are you able to like kind of quantify like qualitative values like that, like extracurriculars, that kind of thing? Because I know like with Naviance, it's more easy to deal with numbers, right?
Yeah. So basically, I don't do that myself. That's where APIs come in.
Okay.
There are different like APIs that have access to like that can give me access to databases, and they fetch the quantitative values for me. Therefore, like I don't really need to worry about how those quantitative values have been retrieved. What logic goes behind it. All I need to know is that this abstraction works, and I can use it to compare to the user's preference. So it's
Gotcha.
that's kind of like that's kind of like the prime assets of computer science, because a lot of the time it's not you hard coding stuff. You're basically taking somebody else's code to make your life easier. However, like in the computer science field, it's really dependent on how you use it. So yeah. But anyways, you want to go on about
the hackathon. We had a lot of Monster. So at first we were just chilling. We were playing Smash on Rohan's Switch, and then we became friends with one of the counselors that was there. He's a really chill dude. Rohan, do you remember his name?
Come on. Hold on. It started with an. Dude, come on. We know this. Just give me a sec. Charin, that was what it was.
Yeah. So we became friends with him. He came over to us at like 4 a.m. We started talking, and then we were all wide awake, and so Charin offered to give us a campus tour at like 4 a.m. and it was like 32 degrees outside. And so we're like, sure,
fuck it.
And so we go out and explore the campus. It was really cool. And Charin gave us a lot of like inside details about tech. Showed us like a bunch of lounges that we can use. And then we went to Waffle House at like 6 a.m. It's really fun. So that was pretty much the end of that. Oh yeah, we went into the football stadium at like 6 a.m. Walked around on the field.
Yeah. Then we heard like some loud metal sound, and we were just like, all right, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got out of there quick. But yeah, then it was like 6 a.m. We went to sleep. We were knocked out. Then the next day was a Smash tournament. I think Rohan got past the first round. I did not.
Yep.
There's a lot of really good Smash players there. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I got absolutely demolished in like the second round.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys have like a projector and then it was like a lot of people?
So no, it was actually there were a bunch of setups. Like there were like
switches.
Yeah, there were like rows of
gotcha.
tables and like monitors with like switch setups.
Was there a prize at the end, or was it just pride?
Yeah, there were some prizes, like not really appealing prizes. They were kind of lame, but we were just there for fun, I guess.
Yeah, we got a lot of stickers from the booths.
Yeah.
So I know Rohan touched a little bit about like, is there some echo? I hear myself. Oh, okay. One second. All right, I'm back. Sorry. So Rohan, you touched a little bit about like looking at other people's code, right? Or like GitHub or something.
Right.
What you guys said, like kind of like debugging other people's code is the most difficult thing you can do, because I know it's like hard to think about someone else's like thought process, and you have to figure out which methods do what and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that like something you're comfortable with? Or?
I wouldn't say like I don't really know if like anybody's just like completely comfortable with it. Like you can't just look at somebody's code and then automatically know what the problem is. But over like the previous year, I've looked at a lot of people's code who needed help, and maybe it took me like 5 minutes to kind of just look it over, figure out what it was, because in the end, like a lot of logic, like a lot of people's logic behind things kind of looks similar. And I kind of just like compared that to mine, and it was kind of like it became like clear how to fix their problem.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's like you need to be a good reader of code, but
Yeah.
you can also be a good writer and make like clear code that's organized. And a big part of coding is like commenting, which means like it's just lines of code that aren't code, they're just comments, so that you can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And so good code has a lot
They're
of
like
comments on it.
annotations.
Yeah, annotations pretty much. And yeah, good code has like documentation like that, so that people reading it can pick it up and go with it.
Yeah.
That's the double backslash, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
for Java, yeah.
Yeah, I learned something from computer science.
Yeah.
So what would you guys say is kind of like the most frustrating thing that you guys have to deal with when you're writing code, like Jack said, debugging?
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Like, I can remember countless amounts of labs that Mr. Lau assigned me where I was literally up until like 2 a.m. debugging something that was so simple. And like oftentimes, like when you're tired, especially, and you've been coding for a little while, it's kind of hard to see a simple problem.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's when I'm picking up something new, like a new library, or if I'm working with like a new interface. It's like there's always a big learning curve to understanding what's going on, because at first I'm just completely lost. Like I don't know what to do, but then just after a while, it slowly falls into place, and then once you get it, you get it. But
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with AI at all?
Yeah.
I know I've watched a lot of videos about it, and I know like the math behind it, the neural networks and stuff, but I've never actually coded in AI.
Yeah. Same. I've never actually applied AI software into my code. But I think it's pretty interesting to learn. Like, but you know, we were attempting to learn AI technology in the VT hackathon, but this guy just did not explain anything. So,
well, then, like, I guess my other question is, since computer science there's always like new stuff to learn. What are some of the things that you guys are trying to pick up? Maybe that's AI or a new interface. Do you guys have anything right now that you're trying to learn?
Yeah.
For me, it's something called SQL, which is which is just a database thing that you can use to interact with efficient data and put on your website.
Okay, nice.
And I need to use it on my Minecraft server.
Rohan, what about you?
Yeah, right now I'm kind of just working with .NET and Xamarin, which basically .NET is like what you would call a framework in computer science, which is basically gives, or not a framework, sorry, a developer platform, which is essentially a combination between libraries and languages that are used to help develop different kinds of applications. And Xamarin is an extension of .NET, which focuses specifically on developing mobile applications, but instead of writing different code for each platform like iOS, Android, and UWP, you're essentially just writing one source code for across all 3 platforms.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I'd definitely like to get into artificial intelligence. The thing is, it's like projects that with artificial intelligence are so big. Like I want to do something where like I make a program where a bot can understand music, or like write music on its own. But the stuff that goes into that has just so much like breadth. There's so much stuff that goes into it.
Because it's got
there's some really impressive stuff out there. I forget what I think it's OpenAI, something like that. They made a bot that can reproduce an artist's music, and it sounds like scary accurate.
Wow.
You can like give it a set of lyrics, and you can just tell it to reproduce like Elton John style, and it'll sound like Elton John is singing it. It's pretty crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. This might be a dumb question, but when someone says that they're gonna, like look into the IT department, what does that exactly mean compared to just like doing computer science?
They're gonna look into the IT, like IT.
I think
encapsulates
more of
also
networking.
Networking.
Yeah.
it's networking, and like IT can also mean like you're delving into software as code and whatnot. But mainly when people say like IT, it can mean cybersecurity, consulting, cloud computing, a lot of different things. It's
Okay.
basically like a broad term for.
So, like, as a software engineer, is that something that you guys are interested in, or is it more just kind of like coding, debugging,
No,
I feel
developing?
I'm interested in product development, which is kind of like separate from IT.
Yeah, same here. But I feel like at some point along the line, we're gonna need to know like a lot of cybersecurity practices that goes into coding, which is gonna be kind of annoying.
I don't really know like what IT is. Like, I don't have a clear picture of what it is.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't really know how to like apply cybersecurity into my software because I don't know. I've never really
something we don't know yet.
Yeah, we've never really learned any like security practices.
Okay. Cool.
That will come in college.
All right. Well, outside of the computer science stuff, you guys both did crew for a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys like that experience?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. I did crew for my first 2 years, and I thought it was an amazing experience for me. In my first year, I didn't really do too hot because I didn't really try all that hard, and mainly because like I kind of believed that I was going to do some ass anyways, so I better like. It's kind of like a defense mechanism, I guess. Like if I purposefully don't try, then I won't be roasted when I actually.
If you don't try,
yeah, exactly. But I actually started trying in my sophomore year because I knew it could mean that I won't get to do crew anymore because I was trying out from varsity. So yeah, I actually started pulling my weight, and I actually impressed myself. Yeah, and it wasn't like 1v varsity material, but it was varsity material. So I pulled my weight, I guess, and I thought it was a valuable experience for me.
Yeah, so I rode my freshman and junior years.
The Alpha Chad of freshman year.
So freshman year, I did pretty well. I was on the freshman 8 in the stern pair. That was definitely the most fun I've had in crew. Because our boat went undefeated during the normal season, and it was the freshman 8. And it was one of the best freshman boats that Oakton's had in like a long time.
Rip Russell and Daddy Dan.
Yeah. So we had 2 coaches that were really great, named Russell Top and Dan. And we called Dan Daddy Dan. And Dan hated it. But like he couldn't do anything about it because that's what we called him. Let's see. Yeah, so we were expected to place second at states freshman year, and we ended up placing third by 0.2 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which team beat you guys?
Woodbridge, and St. Albans was in first, but everybody knew St. Albans was going to win. They won by like
they're like
10
overpowered
seconds.
teams, dude.
Yeah, so pretty much crew is like a pay-to-win sport. Like private schools are way better than public schools because they have club teams like integrated with their high school teams.
Yeah. They have the training.
Yeah, so they're rowing year-round, and they start like in middle school, whereas public schools start freshman year in fall. So they just have a lot more experience. There are exceptions to that, like Bethesda Chevy Chase is always doing really well. I think that's just because they have a really good coaching program. But generally, that's just how it goes with rowing.
Yeah.
In a lot of sports.
Yeah.
And then kind of outside of the muscling practice that you guys do on the ergs, is that what it's called?
Yeah, ergs, yeah.
What's kind of the technique that you guys have into like steering, and is there like a more efficient way to do it? Is someone like talking to you guys while you guys are competing?
Pretty much
there's a coxswain. Yeah. There's a coxswain at the end of the boat, so he has a rudder on him. He has a rudder that he can control. It's like 2 strings that are next to him on the sides of the boat, and he can pull those and push those to turn the rudder, and that does minor steering. So
Okay.
when we're on a race, we don't need to worry about steering. Our coxswain keeps us on course. We just pull as hard as we can, and our forces balance each other
Hope for
out.
the
So
best.
it goes pretty straight, and the coxswain can correct like any errors and like minor directional changes. But the coxswain directs the boat. So like during practice, if we need to turn around or if we need to take a 90-degree turn, he'll direct people to stop rowing, and he'll direct certain sides of the boat to start rowing to turn the boat. And you can also back up to turn even quicker. So that's how that works.
In layman's terms, we the rowers are basically the engines of the boat, and the coxswain is the driver.
Yeah, we just take directions.
So does the coxswain kind of go through like a different training compared to you guys, or?
Kind of. So he doesn't really, row. Like he can choose to practice with us, I guess, if he wants the exercise. But and he runs with us and stuff. But there's like some like side practice that he does with the coaches to know what to call out, know when to do this, that.
Yeah, being a coxswain is a much different experience than being a rower because it's more about I think the most important part of being a coxswain is motivating the rowers during a race, because that's really what that's what made the freshman eight so good was Ben's coxing. Ben is like a really good coxswain.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that is because
he's like built for coxing, dude.
Yeah, because he's the perfect height for it, and he's really good at yelling at us. He has what to say, like in a good way. Like, he'll always say like with tenacity. Like that.
With tenacity.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so there was something called the Glory for what was it called? The Glory for 20. It was the last 20 strokes of states, and Ben told us he's gonna say it like the week before states came, and he said it's just 20 strokes, hardest strokes of your life, and he was hyping it up. Then when it finally came, it was like the most intense thing ever. It was so great because Ben really knows how to like ramp up the intensity and make us pull when we need to pull and relax when we need to relax. And that's part of being a great coxswain.
Yeah.
So like when you guys are practicing, how much time do you guys have to, actually on the water? And do you think like that practice has been enough for you guys in the past, or do you wish you had more, less, that kind of thing?
I mean, I would always love more water practice because like being on the erg is like torture to me.
Oh man,
I mean, to everyone hates it compared to.
It's basically like I'd rather run on a treadmill for 2 hours than row for 1 hour.
Yeah, but definitely, I could have done fall and summer rowing, and looking back on it, I kind of regret not doing that my freshman year, because that's when you get more personalized practice. You can do like you can row in a single or a double, which is a 2-person or 1-person boat.
Yeah, it's definitely much more broad, and I'd say I think it's more fun than the actual season itself. But also it's definitely not a minor investment. That's the one problem with rowing, because it's not a school funded thing, so it costs $1,000 a season to participate, and then we have to do donation. We have to get fundraisers too. If we don't get those, then we got to pay way more. Then we got to pay more money. Just kind of
practice could be on water every day. I would for sure take that.
Oh yeah,
and I'm definitely going to continue. I think I'm going to do club rowing at Tech.
Oh really?
Nice. So, when you guys are rowing, right? What's the course that you guys do most locally? Is it the one down
at the
Occoquan?
Yeah. So there's 2 sections of it. When you go to the dock, you can either turn left or right, and if you go left, that takes you to the race course, which is a 2,000 meter straightaway with a dam at the end.
Was it 2,000 or was it 1,500?
It's 2,000, but we start at the 500 meter mark, so it's 1,500 meters. And then at the finish line, there's a thing called the grandstands, which is a bunch of concrete slabs that people sit on, and cheer for us when we're racing.
It's basically the milestone of the race.
And so that's when like when you pass the grandstands, that's when you know you're almost done. You just got to empty the tank.
Nice.
So that's like a 30-minute drive from Oakton and from where I live, which is like Franklin Farm.
So do you guys say like rowing is more like a marathon or more like a sprint?
Sprint. It's definitely more like a sprint.
So are you guys kind of like going all out since the start, or is there a technique to saving your energy?
I think
Basically, it's kind of like, all right. So in the beginning, you gotta like go all out. Well, not like completely all out, but you gotta like push hard, and you gotta row fast to build that momentum. And that's like for like the first 500 meters, I guess. But you kind of like ease up at the second 250. And then like in the middle 500, we're basically just trying to keep pace, just trying to conserve as much energy while rowing a little less hard so that we can really empty the tank in the last 500. And then when the last 500 hits, we start like building momentum for a sprint. And when we hear the grandstands, we just start really like flooring it, emptying the tank, just kind of.
It's definitely not a marathon, but I think it's like a controlled sprint because pretty much the anatomy of a race is you start out with it's called a power 10 at the start, and it's shortened strokes at the start that just pick up the momentum of your boat. And you use a lot of strength there, but after that you do something called a lengthen 10, which is you take longer strokes and slower strokes to just continue the momentum and kind of relax, and you find a rhythm there that you keep for like 1,000 meters until the final sprint. And once the final sprint hits, you just give it like everything you have. You just empty the tank. But during that lengthening, you just have to find a rhythm that you develop during practice.
Yeah.
How many boats are usually on the water at the same time?
Maybe like 8. I think.
There's 6 lanes in a race.
Okay.
But like during practices, I'd say 12 because there's 4 teams at Oakton. There's boys and girls freshmen, and then there's boys and girls varsity.
Yeah.
And I think there's like on average 3 boats per team.
Okay. So you guys aren't like bumping into each other at all, right?
No,
we
it's a
try
big
not
river.
to, but sometimes you're gonna
sometimes at
come
the
across a
dock
bad coxswain.
destinations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of like it's kind of like driving in New York when you approach the dock because everybody's like fucking cutting you off.
You can be a good driver and still be aggressive, but you need to know how to like respect other boats' distance and
Finesse.
Yeah, finesse.
Have you ever experienced kind of like on sports like conduct out on the water with someone kind of like cutting you off, or is it usually good spirit?
Like during a race, no, you never see that. Like that doesn't happen because we are racing parallel from each other. But on the dock, like sometimes it gets a little heated.
Yeah.
But there's nothing too insane.
To get in, so
yeah.
People are a little mad when they're coming in.
Yeah, you never see anything too insane. Like nobody's going to be cussing at each other. We respect each other, and also the coach would like kill us if we did that shit. But
yeah, the craziest thing that happens in rowing is when you catch a crab.
Ooh.
So a crab is when you catch catch a crab means your oar gets stuck in the water, and since you're facing like backwards with the direction of movement, the oar like pushes into you. And if you're not careful, you can catch something called an ejector crab, which means it ejects you from the boat.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
all right, like those, like you never want to be on like the receiving end of that, but it's funny to watch.
Yeah. So that happened once in a race, and I witnessed it.
Oh my God!
It was a TJ boat in my freshman year, and this guy got ejected from the boat in like the first 100 meters. Yeah, he fell out. Since it happened so soon, they just restarted the race.
Oh wow! So there wasn't. Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know who the guy was? I have a couple friends.
No, I don't know his name.
Wow.
And then at nationals in freshman year, someone on my boat caught a crab. It wasn't an ejector, but it was a crab. It was a really big crab. And that honestly might have been the difference between us moving to the next heat.
It'll definitely get you yelled at by the coach.
Yeah.
They're gonna actually call you like stupid, dude.
Yeah, it's humiliating if it happens during a race.
Yeah.
If it happens during practice, you just laugh it off.
Yeah, but during a race, it's like literally the most unacceptable thing ever.
So when you guys kind of like sign up for the crew season, does that mean it's all year round, or do you guys get to choose which seasons you're competing?
It's all year, basically.
So you're signing up for winter conditioning and spring.
Okay.
It's pretty unacceptable not to go to winter conditioning unless you're doing like wrestling or a winter sport that has like strenuous training.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is like you're allowed to skip it, but you need to put up the numbers before spring season.
Yeah.
Like you have to take a 2K to get put on a boat, and if you have a bad 2K, you're going to be on a bad boat.
Yeah. Even if you take like a whole week off, that could set you back a whole lot.
Yeah, because endurance like just drops off after like 4 days of not practicing.
Because in winter conditioning, like you got to build that momentum to be able to endure more, to get stronger. And it's honestly like the most awful experience ever, but you get used to it, and I think the rewards are worth it. Because like, I don't know, like, all right, like you mentioned before, like whether it was a sprint or a marathon, winter conditioning is more like a marathon. Actually this changed from our freshman and sophomore year, because in freshman and sophomore year we used to do a lot of sprints rather than long pieces. However, there was a coach change in junior and senior year, and I wasn't really around for junior all that much. I stuck around for winter conditioning for about like a month and a half before I had to leave. But basically, it was basically like a lot of long pieces because the coach's philosophy was different, and he wanted to build up our technique more than just our speed. And we started doing like 60-minute pieces, 2 by 60 minutes, and it was pretty bad. But you kind of felt good at the end of it, I guess. And it kind of built up your endurance a lot.
Yeah.
But it was kind of at the cost of your stroke rate, because like before, like in the previous seasons, we were able to go like 38 strokes per minute, like during a race. But then that steadily dropped to like maybe 30 or something.
Yeah.
Because of how many endurance pieces we're doing.
Yeah, it's because of our new coach's approach to practice was like very endurance focused. And he didn't ramp up the intensity until the end. I like the sprint approach better because it just adds more variety to practice.
Yeah.
Okay, and then kind of outside of crew, what are some of the classes that you're most proud of, or like you appreciate taking? And then what's one class that you wish that you didn't take if you had to do it over again?
Ooh, I can answer that one.
Okay.
I wish I never took AP Chem. That was the worst class I've ever taken. All right, well, not the worst. Like, I mean, I love the teacher, and I guess I liked her teaching style, but I just didn't get it at all, no matter how much I studied. But the class that I'm most proud of is, once again, bringing it back to computer science, advanced computer science, because I was able to like understand everything and kind of solidified my career in computer science, I think.
The class I would definitely not take if I could do it again was AP Econ.
I've heard
teacher.
Stuff about that.
Oh, I've heard a lot of things.
Like not good. It was incoherent. Like the lectures didn't make any sense. It was just rambling. I mean, like the material was kind of interesting, but like there was like no class engagement, and so I had to just study based on like AC/DC Econ, which was okay, but it was not enjoyable during class. One class that I think the class I enjoyed the most was probably Algebra 2. So back in sophomore year, I was still in like math 1 year ahead instead of 2 years ahead. Like it was like it wasn't pre-calc, it was Algebra 2. So this was when I really started like being engaged in math, and I really liked learning it. And I was making connections with all sorts of things in math, and my teacher, Miss Edwards, like really encouraged me to keep moving forward. And so what I ended up doing was studying pre-calc like during the year and connecting it to things we were learning. And then that summer I took pre-calc, and like Miss Edwards' encouragement like accelerated me to 2 years ahead.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And then we both took linear this year.
Yeah.
Which
I'm really
is
glad that happened.
related to computer science.
Yeah, linear was a lot of fun. Because what happened with me was I watched 3 Blue 1 Brown.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Series on linear algebra. I watched that series like multiple times. I watched it like once in junior year, then I watched it twice this year. And the concepts in that are way more like visual than the stuff we were doing. So I had like all of that stuff in the back of my head, and it kind of kept me anchored while we were learning it, because a lot of the stuff we were doing, it's like, what is the point of this?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think that really helped me like engage with it and have more of an appreciation for it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So now I have some speed round questions that you guys can do. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
All right, Jack. So you answer these as fast as you can, or as quickly as you can. All right. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Favorite type of music?
Rock.
Ketchup or mustard?
Mustard.
Favorite animal?
Platypus.
Do you have any pets?
I do not. I had a bunny last year. He passed away, Rip Joby.
Oh, Rip Joby. Jalapeno chips or hot Cheetos?
Hot Cheetos. I love hot Cheetos.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
Thank you.
Watermelon or mango?
Watermelon.
What's your favorite TV show?
Right now, that's 70 Show.
Oh, okay. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2. So one is 22, 23 maybe, and the other is 24.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
What's your favorite number?
6.
Why 6?
That's just the number I had in baseball growing up.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite sport?
Rowing, definitely.
What's your favorite NFL team?
Ravens, because, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name, dude. Who's this?
Lamar?
Raven? Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Were you disappointed this year?
Honestly, I didn't keep up with it. I just like watching highlights. Yeah.
Okay. What's the first thing you do in the morning?
Brush my teeth.
Okay. Do you have a celebrity crush?
Scarlett Johansson.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food or go-to snack?
Ooh. Oh, definitely instant ramen, cup noodle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you're stuck on an island, what are 3 things that you would bring?
Pocket knife, matches, and some seeds so I can make a farm.
Okay. What do you want to do in the future?
I want to be a software engineer. I want to have a family. And I want to live in a nice area, like somewhere out west, maybe like Colorado.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
What's one fun fact about yourself?
I can play 4 instruments.
Oh, can you name the 4?
Piano, guitar, drums, and bass.
Wow. Do you have any senior year advice or high school advice in general?
Just keep at it. A lot of the work can seem tedious, but if you have discipline and you just face the assignments when they're due or when they need to get done, then you'll be fine and you'll get through it.
Okay, nice. All right, Rohan, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Favorite music?
Alternative rock.
Ketchup or mustard?
Mustard.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
Do you have any pets?
Yep, a dog.
What's your dog's name?
Chindu.
Jalapeno chips or hot Cheetos?
Jalapeno chips.
Pineapple on pizza?
No.
Dang, you guys are haters. Watermelon or mango?
Mango.
Favorite TV show?
My Hero Academia.
Do you have any siblings?
Yep, an older brother named Arjun.
What's your? Oh, he just got married, right?
He's getting married.
Oh, he's getting married.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's your favorite number?
4,112,002.
Is that? Are you serious or is that right?
Yeah, no, I'm being serious.
All right.
Why?
I'm not gonna ask why. What's your favorite sport?
Tennis.
Oh, me too. What's your favorite NFL team?
Redskins.
Oh,
That's just
Rip.
very basic. Like, I don't really
what's the first thing you do in the morning?
wake up,
Okay, what do you do after you wake up?
brush my teeth.
Okay. Most people say like look at their phone.
Oh.
All right. Do you have a celebrity crush?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot from Wonder
Gal
Woman.
Gadot. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right. What's your favorite type of food?
Korean barbecue.
Iron Age. If you're stuck on an island, what are 3 things that you would bring?
My guitar, picture of my family, and maybe a gun
What's the gun for?
to hunt.
What happens when you run out of ammo?
Well, then I make a spear.
Why not just bring? Okay. Well, what's one fun fact? Or no, what do you want to do in the future?
Software engineering.
Okay.
Basically
What's
that's
one
it.
fun fact about yourself?
I play guitar.
What's one song that you've recently picked up?
Viva La Vida.
Oh, that's a good one.
Country Roads. Some other songs. I don't know. I've just been learning
Okay.
like songs that random.
Do you have any senior year advice?
Yeah, basically kind of same as Jack's. Don't procrastinate though. I know that's kind of a very basic one. Just try your best not to do it, and I think that's like the number one tip for success in high school.
Nice. All right, last segment here. I'm going to go on your guys' Instagram, find one picture, and then you have to give me some more details about it. So I'll start with Jack. All right, Jack. Looking at a picture here, you're playing the guitar. The caption is Wonderland.
Oh, so I don't have a lot of time with my brothers because they both live away from home now because they're like adults. So when they come home, it's a lot of fun. And this was, I think when Connor came home from college and Grant, yeah, they both came home from college, and we just had a jam sesh. So Connor's the most talented out of all of us. He can create just music on the spot that sounds really good. So he's on the keyboard there. That's my basement. That's the stage. That's actually what I'm sitting on right now. That's where my setup is. You can kind of see it on the edge of the picture that I moved it to the stage. So I'm playing bass. Grant's playing drums. And we're just vibing. Connor's playing like some song that he's improvising. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Connor's he's an artist. He makes music. And I'm just so inspired by how good he is. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, nice. All right, Rohan. Let me pick a picture. All right, this one here in Chicago. There's a weird mirror thingy, and you have some nice pants.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So similar to Jack, I don't have a lot of time with my brother because ever since he left for college, which was like when I was in 2nd grade, I maybe saw him like twice or 3 times a year. So, and recently in my junior year over the summer, I had the idea of going to Chicago to visit him for maybe like 3 days, and he agreed. So I kind of just flew over to Chicago, and he took me to see the bean, and I was like, I'm gonna get a picture in front of this, and he took a picture, and I think you could see his reflection, but it's kind of like,
I'm trying to find it right now.
yeah, it's like if you look in front of my reflection, that's him, and that's Rhythm, which is his fiance.
I
Oh,
see it.
huh. That's pretty cool. All right, thank you guys for sharing your time. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've been a great host. Yeah, you've been a great
yeah,
host.
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.